Welcome back to the Angels, Brian here. So yeah, my first run round with the Harder Steenbeck airbrush that I got. What I love about this brush is the easy to remove ink cup. You just pull it out and pop it in, none of this screwing in, screwing out, which is quite cool. So yeah, I set up some Tamiya Grey and some Tamiya Buff. I initially sprayed the portal in the grey and then covered it in the buff. So you can see there it's now got an even coating all over, which was ideal. Then I decided to add some extra details. Those are small nut and bolt heads made by a company called Liang. You can see it there. They're 0.61mm. So I cut out some metal brackets in styrene, painted them black, and then placed them in position where I felt that the structure would have more support and a reason for the bolts being put in. So once it's in place, I started cutting the bolt heads, which are really small and they're very delicate, and started to place them on. And here you can see the tunnel portal starting to look the part and a lot more robust. So continuing with the painting, I started painting individual boards in various greys and browns, washing it with some dark washes as well and some dark grey washes. The portal starts to take on a life of its own, looks a lot better in this picture. I feel the details starting to come together. This is the sort of scratch building I enjoy doing. And there's a picture of the caboose passing through the tunnel. So carrying on with some aging and weathering of the tunnel portal, adding some limestone streaks, some rust washes and some green for moss, which are all apparent in that picture, and then put some rust round about the bolt heads on those plates. So now painting the flat car. This is a Bachmann flat car that comes with a log load. The usual, paint all the planks in different colours, greys, browns, dark browns, buffs, wooden deck tan. And I like this sort of effect that you get when you do this. I've done it with planking and different wood structures as well. I've also painted the edges so you can see that the boards are going underneath that rail that holds them down. Hi, Brian here, welcome back to the Angels. This month for the budget for Angels Ridge Railroad layout, I got all items in one shop, a little bit more than normal, but I had a little bit more cash to spend this month on things. So it's all about odds and sods and everything that I feel that the layout needs, especially that it's 1:87. It's hard to source these parts in the UK, so trying to pick them up at a bargain and get a good price for them has took many months of searching, but I've managed to find somewhere that does everything very reasonable, and I managed to get the following items. So here we see a little Chevy pickup truck, which is essential should I say, in all layouts. This will be weathered, as will all vehicles. We have a Woody little touring car, very common in the 50s, the 60s, Canada and America, so yeah, I had to get one of these. Another utility truck, Ford F100 pickup, 1956, so again all era specific that suits the layout. So 3 vehicles we got. Then I picked up this Vic's Barber Shop. There will be a lot of scratch building in the Angels Ridge. I will do a lot of scratch building, but this building is something that will give me a good template for other buildings to work off of. So starting with this building, I can scratch build buildings in this footprint, but I will build this. I won't have it as a barber shop, I'll do it as something else. And it's quite small, it's just about 4 inches by 2.5 inches. So yeah, HO kit, always got to be careful when you're buying this stuff. I've bought stuff that's been N before because there's no difference in the branding bar what's in the corner, so always be aware with Walthers, make sure it says HO on it. And sticking with kits, went with the Cornerstone series Golden Valley Depot kit. Again, these kits will be kit bashed, certain elements and details will be added and changed, and certainly paint schemes as well. So again, HO scale, Golden Valley depot kit. So yeah, moving on to rolling stock. I don't have a tank car, so I got a tank car. Walther's train line, brand new, Canadian National. So whether it's era specific or not, I'm not too sure, but diesel fuel was a tanker I was looking for. So yeah, got that. We'll see this on the layout at some point. And something I've had my eye on for many months was this brand new River Rossi. This one is the West Side Lumber 2-unit pack of 4-axle log cars, but I'll probably cover up and weather over the West Side Lumber. But yeah, we'll be having a look at this out of the box as well in a separate video. And last by no means least, unwrap it from the bubble wrap, got myself a Bachmann HO scale. Locomotive. So this one is an S4 diesel loco, HO scale, Pennsylvania Railroad, number 8490. We'll get that out and we'll have a look at that in more detail. But yeah, that was this month's mail call. I think you'll agree, it's a nice little haul, very reasonable as well, so very happy. I'll set the camera up and show you some of this stuff out of the boxes. So here we are having a look at the Bachmann Pennsylvania number 8490 S4 Alco. Oh look, there's a little F. Wonder what that means. Those that have watched the previous video know exactly what it means. So just a quick look at this loco. The detail on it is exceptional. The handrails, the fine detail, the glazing, it's all crystal clear, nice and sharp, everything's in place. This was just about 80 quid for this loco, so it's an absolute bargain. Handrails on the side, and obviously it's one of those 4 axles which will be suited this layout. Still to experiment with a 6 axle. If I get a cheap 6 axle I might try it on the radius, which is sub 15 inch on this layout. It's about 14.5. But yeah, again in the black it looks amazing. Snoring in the background, my little dog, he likes coming in and join me when I play trains. He's always lying somewhere else in the house, and the minute I come in next to the layout I get my wee dog coming in and join me. little Diablo, an app name. But yeah, the Alco S4, beautiful looking loco, detail on it's amazing. I'm not one for the biggest reviews in the world, I'm just telling you what I think of it and looking at it. I think it's smart, it's crisp, it's clear. Both lights stay on in either direction, but that's the joys of DC. Maybe go DCC one day, I don't know. I'm looking at a controller that does both, so I could either run DC or DCC in this layout, and I've wired it in such a way that I reckon I could do DCC on this. So we're going to get this locomotive hooked up to this train we've set up with the two new River Rossi log cars and the Walther's train line single dome diesel fuel tanker, and these ones that I already had. So it makes up a nice little train. As I said, a lot of this is getting weathered, including this. Welcome back to the layout. So I've got the Bachmann Alco S4 out doing its warm-up laps, half an hour in each direction. And it just looks absolutely amazing, the detail on it's spot on. The price I paid for it was ridiculous, very good, bargain. So here we have the Walther's train line. This is the more budget friendly rolling stock that Walther's do. Again, very reasonably priced. Detail on it spot on. Once I do some weathering, some track grime on it, it'll look amazing. Look, there she blows. Love that black livery, I really do. So let's go back in again. Sorry for the swingy camera work. The River Rossi log cars are superb. The detail on it is amazing. The frame's all metal, as are the axles and the wheels. You get a 2-pack and you get logs that go with them as well. I wanted to show you the top part before I added any logs on. I'll put the logs on when I do the running session. But I've got another half hour in the reverse still to run this locomotive. So yeah, great bargains, very happy, and these will be weathered as well. So there we go. Log cars also come with chains and supports so that we can chain the log loads onto the log cars, which I won't do. That'll all get weathered and put in place once it's done. I quite like the logs, they get nice little knots on it, give them a little bit of weathering and aging as well, and they should be ideal for using not only in the log cars but in other areas in the layout where I'll put some of my own logs on the log cars. We've got this nice little bit of foreground in front of the locomotive now. It gives us a nice bit of scenery for the trains running. They've also put the Chevy pickup in place next to Angels Ridge Railroad Company, because the Chevy will get the Angels Ridge logos on it. So it sets the scene, gives an idea of scale and what we're working with. I like having structures, people and different items on a layout when I'm building it. Gives me an idea of scale, and I can put it in different places and check out road sizes and how the roads work. So I've thrown the ground throw here, and we'll bring the train in, we'll drop off the caboose, and we'll shunt the freight that's on here just now. So we bring that into there, then we throw the switch. Reverse the train back, drop off the caboose and the caboose siding. I'll pull the train forward. I'll put the boxcar on the first siding. Stop that there. Down through, and now we'll reverse this boxcar back into the siding with the other boxcar. We'll dump that there. And we'll dump the fuel car, because we've got to put the fuel into the proper siding for the fuel. So we're going to leave that there, remove the two log cars, put them in the next siding where the gondola is, come back down, pick up the tank car, bring it forward, go up, bring it out to here actually, should I say, and then we can do a run round on it, because this is where the tank car is going to go, and that's the reason I bought this bit of freight, so I can get diesel fuel into the diesel siding. So let's start manoeuvring this and see how we can get this fitting in all the sidings and what sizes and tolerances work. That's about testing, switching to see if everything kind of fits and works, especially when you get new stock. Just need to move this back a little bit so I have room for the log cars to go into that siding. Log cars are disconnected, so we'll bring the loco forward. So it clears that switch, and now we'll see if there's enough room to fit the two log cars in with the gondola. Actually, I'm going to remove the gondola off the track and just put the two log cars in there, because the gondola isn't actually part of this switching operation. The gondola was one of the cheap ones I got at Model Rail Scotland, still has these little kind of magnetic fittings on the end, so can't be using that because it needs KD couplers. I was practicing my weathering with my new airbrush on it, that's why it was in that siding. Now that I've lined the switches up, so this switch is leading into here, which diverges into two tracks, two sidings. We'll see if this fits in here. Yeah, so we actually get three on that siding. So we'll dump them there, and then we'll come down, take the tank car out and run round the tank car. Doing this sort of slow running and moving the locomotives about on the track, it really does help the locomotive to kind of bed in. So we'll get that tank car hooked up. Now we'll pull the tank car out, run round it. Let's follow it as we get ready to push it into the side and do the run round. Stop it. Stop it there. We'll detach the loco and we'll run round. Now I know there's many proper procedures used in this stage when you're actually doing it prototypically. I've still to investigate more about how the prototype works in its essence. I would like to try and emulate that when I do my running sessions, but really it's all about fun, and I only drag the sessions out when I'm not filming. When I'm filming, I tend to make the sessions a little shorter to make it a little bit more palatable for people to watch. So now the loco's unattached from the tank car, we can run round and get to the other side of the tank car in order to position it at the fuel sidings. And on a side note, I'd like to say the ground throws I've installed are working perfectly. Everything about them are ideal. Throw the frogs correctly and they're just great to use. Now the switches are thrown, we can move the loco into position to hook up on the other end of the tank car, which will then take to the fuel siding. That was a successful clunk click there, so let's carry on moving. Now the loco's dropped the fuel tank off successfully there, we can bring the loco back out and carry on doing the switching elsewhere. Track does need a good clean, it's not really been cleaned that much on the inside, been doing lots of running on the outside. So sometimes the loco may seem a little sticky because of the track.